Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Is Tommaso speaking here. Hope you can hear me and see me at the same time, as well as seeing the first slide of this question and answer webinar. We'll leave just a couple of minutes for more attendees to join us, and then we will start with the session. So in the meanwhile, you can settle in, get a coffee, and getting ready for this session, and feel free to, of course, send your greetings and questions on the chat. And I see that you're already doing that. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, Sandra and Tomislav or Tomislava. And we will get started very soon. Hello, everybody. Just another test to make sure that you can hear me and that you're joining and that you're in the right place. We haven't started yet. Just a minute and we will get going. So you can set yourself comfortable and we'll get doing. Hello, Dorota. Hello, Francisco, Ivona. Nice to see you. Very nice you joining us. Slavika, hello. And when you publish a question or you ask or you contribute to the chat, you can add your name as well, so we know who is writing. Some of you haven't done that yet, but you can, if you want, do so, of course. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tommaso, and I'll be guiding you through this session today. Now we will start a bit slowly so that other participants can join. Thank you very much for being with us this afternoon in a lovely day in Brussels, at least very sunny. Hope you're fine at home, you're safe, and you're keeping your activities as normal and natural as possible, even though in this very peculiar and strange times. Today we are gonna go through some questions that you've asked to us through the Padlet within the course. But of course, if you have any other doubts, any other comments that you want to share with us, feel free to write in the chat as you are already doing. And it seems that it's you're all very practical and very used to use now this digital tools. So we're pleased to see that this is working fine now. Just as a housekeeping announcement, so this webinar is recorded. So of course, we will be able to share the recording with all of you and the other participants that couldn't make it this afternoon. You also have the possibility to enable captions and subtitles in some of the languages in the settings of the call. So in case you can't understand what I'm saying, well, from my side, I will try to speak slowly and clear as much as possible, but you also have that option if you like. I'm very happy to have many of you today with us, and I'm also very happy to have many more of you in the Icebreaker, Code Week Icebreaker. So it's really a great pleasure to have you all there. Today, I'm together with Konstantinos and Nair as well, which are for the time being a bit behind the scenes. So their greetings as well for starting this session. The objective of today's webinar, which will last about 1 hour, it's very straightforward. As you can see, this is really for solving any doubts or questions you might have. So, of course, you've stated many of them in the Padlet, and we collected already some questions. But if you have any other doubts, don't hesitate to ask them right now. This is the time, this is when we will be able to answer you straight away. Before starting, we had, just to make sure that we are all energized, we would start with a few questions that Konstantinos prepared and that we can maybe comment together just to understand a bit better who you are, at what, from which country, and what's your job, whether you're a teacher, parents, what brought you there. Konstantinos, do you want to launch just a quick poll? Very good. So now you see the poll, and Konstantinos, do you want to explain a bit how it works?
Yes, sure. Hi, everybody from my side as well. So you can go to wooklab.com/ the code RSRPGS, or just use the QR code to scan. So I can also write it in the chat. 1 second. You can go there using your phone or your computer, and once you're there, you can see some questions. And the first question is, which country are you joining in from today? So you can type in the country. So we see we have Spain, Belgium, many people from Spain, from Belgium, Poland, Lithuania, Serbia, Croatia, Sweden, Italy, Greece, the Netherlands, North Macedonia. So we see that we have quite many people from different countries. Spain is a country with the most participants today. Portugal as well. So yes, please follow the link or the code and you can type in your questions. We see that more and more are coming.
We also have a participant from Saudi Arabia that commented on the chat. So you're welcome also to follow the link WooClap and enter your country there as well if you like.
It's always really nice to see so many people from different countries coming together in such events, and also on the real course on the Code Week Icebreaker MOOC. So I think, still we have some new entries. Saudi Arabia, as we see it now. Romania. So please use the code. I see that somebody is asking for the code. Is RSRPGS. Okay, we have a very nice group of people today. Shall we move, Tommaso, to the next question?
Yes, let's go to the next one. I'm ready also to answer.
And the next question is, what coding means for you in one word? So please type in, you're still in the app, so you can still use it. Creativity, collaboration, problem solving, solving problems, create. I guess the Serbia is from the previous question. Fun, of course. Thinking, learning, freedom, innovation, of course, computational thinking. Mystery. Wow, that's a very nice sum of different words that you came up with. Solving problems, design, communication, innovation. Thinking and creativity is the top entries. This is very nice to see that there is some common ground there. Future, makerspace, science, improvement, cooperation, ideas. Of course, you can add more than one entries if you want more words. Fun, creativity, and thinking are the most commonly used words.
I think this tells us that there's a lot of reasoning that is going on, and hopefully we sparked a bit of that reasoning through the first activities that you went through with this course or a previous one. And there's very much beyond what you mentioned here, in the sense that, of course, here you described it in one word, but if I see some elements like e-learning, for instance, or process, I see how you started reasoning a bit in depth what coding can allow you to do with your students. So that sounds very promising.
Indeed. And we see that the answers are keep coming in, and this is very nice. We will definitely share this on Twitter afterwards, and feel free to retweet and share it. Understanding AI and robots, solving problems are some of the other new entries.
Very good.
Teamwork, yes.
Okay, so you keep pushing your answers in this tool, so we enrich a bit our understanding of your understanding of coding, but indeed also to our understanding coding, and this course is about all these elements and as many elements that you can attach to it. So keep pushing, keep publishing. And in the meanwhile, we will use some time, some minutes to answer some of the questions that you've asked already in the Padlet.
Tommaso, you need to reshare.
And now you should be able to see again the presentation. So as I was mentioning, we just pointed to some of the questions you asked us, but again, if you have more to ask, feel free to ask in the chat. So the first question you asked us was if you can already start registering activities for Code Week 2020. So of course, this is an important question. You know that the Code Week will happen in October this year, but activities can be registered at any time, and in fact they can take place at any time as well. So you can register and carry out an activity within Code Week 2020 anytime from the 1st of January 2020 to the 31st of December. So we say sometimes that every week is Code Week. In fact, it's a bit like that if we like, in the sense that any day could be a good day to celebrate coding, to celebrate digital creativity, and all those elements that you listed in the question that Costantino shared. It's every day could be a good day to celebrate thinking or problem solving, so computational thinking, so please do so. You can register as many activities as you like. There's not one activity per person. If you are a teacher and have several classes, for instance, you can organize an activity which each of them, therefore you can really enter definitely more than one activity. You can enter as many as you want, really, and the more you enter, the more we would know that you appreciate this type of activities and this type of work that we are all contributing to. We use all these numbers as well to raise the attention of the context we live in about the importance of being more knowledgeable about the digital age we live in. So it's important for that domain as well. And as a reminder, an activity can be really any type of activity that it's meaningful in your context. So it could be a club after school, but it could be also a lesson, could be an activity that you give to your students to do remotely or at home. It can be an event, it can be a presentation, it can be a webinar. So really, we don't want to limit the possibilities. We just want to encourage as many people as possible to organize something positive for their communities or their pupils or their students. We can take a look at another question. Who can participate in Code Week? This is also a fundamental question, but the answer is even more open than the one before. So anybody and everybody can participate to Code Week. Code Week is for children, for pupils, for adults, for students, anybody can organize an activity. Of course, we don't expect children to organize activities, but for the rest, either a librarian or a teacher or an entrepreneur, a project manager, anybody can really organize an activity and engage somebody from their community to take part to it. And it's very appreciated, and I'm sure that you would find many people interested in joining your activity in case you're not a classroom teacher. What can I do after the MOOC if I want to support the initiative? Well, of course, this online course that we've organized, it's important, and it's great that you are part of it, because it helps us also grow this community and make this initiative known to many teachers, many parents, and other potential organizers of activities. And the first and the most powerful way in which you can continue to support the initiative is organizing activity yourselves, so that we generate this snowball effect in a way where each of us contribute to spread this message and to show to as many people as possible what can be done with coding in the very extensive meaning of this word, as we say, and as we saw before. So at least we have this agreement, this understanding, which is common among ourselves. And then it's important also that we spread the word in different ways. So first of all, you could, for instance, when you've completed your MOOC, your course, when you got your certificate, also, if you like the course, share it with any of your colleagues or of your friends, so that they can also take a look at it and understand better what Code Week is. I think this is the very reason why we thought of having this Icebreaker very short course, to give the chance to anybody in a few hours, so without investing too much time, to really understand what Code Week is about, and deciding whether they want to be part of it or not. Then that would depend on them, of course. You can also help other teachers. Many teachers or many parents, many people in general, they are very scared that coding is something very technical and that is difficult. Of course, it's not easy either. Programming and computer programming is a complex topic, but can be tackled at a very simple and basic level as well. So to start with it, it's easy and it's possible. And I think you are demonstrating it by taking the course and by developing activities with your pupils, with your students, starting from the basics, starting from something simple and effective. So it's important that you share this message as well with other teachers that are afraid. Please do tell them that there's nothing to be afraid of. Of course, everything new is a bit challenging at the beginning, but there are ways to make coding appealing and meaningful to everybody, even in different subjects, of course. And finally, good news is that this was the Icebreaker course, so the very short one. A much longer one will be run in September, starting from the 16th of September 2020. And in the Deep Dive MOOC, some of you might have taken already the same course last year. We will have this longer course where we will go much more in details into different approaches to teach coding or with coding in the classroom. Okay, maybe we can take one more question, and then we can take a look at the chat if there are more suggestions. where can I meet colleagues to participate together in Code Week? So you know that there's a chance and the possibility to organize activities and to link up activities together. So you can actually join forces with other teachers, with other colleagues, with other organizers in general. So you can participate in this way also through the Code Week for All challenge. And we'll talk about that a bit more. So where do you find teachers? There's a Facebook group. The Facebook group has more than 100,000 teachers in it. So it's a group that is open in the sense that we would certainly accept you if you ask to join it. There you will find teachers that share resources, ideas, lessons, or simply what they have been doing with their classes with their students. So you see what's the feedback is, how the students are actually learning from this type of activities. So, and you're very welcome to publish there a message as well. So if you're looking for somebody to make a project with you that involves coding or digital creativity or digital competencies, you can be also a bit general. You can ask in that group if somebody would like to join, and I can tell you that there are quite a few teachers that would like to have this international exchange. You can also on the Icebreaker MOOC within the course, there's a forum that is quite developed. So you can post your suggestions or requests there. You can post it internationally in a way for the whole community. You can also post it to people that speak your own language. So there are also national fora that are moderated by some of the leading teachers, which are the teachers that are helping out with the moderation and with the promotion of the course in their local communities. And I take the chance here, as I see that some of them are here connected with us today, so to really thank you very much for your support and work. It's greatly appreciated, and it really does make the difference. There's a Twitter account that you can follow that is followed by many teachers. And finally, there's a Code Week for All challenge Padlet in the course. So maybe there is where you are most welcome, I would say, to publish your ideas and see if other teachers would like to join you in this journey and to share a bit more in detail with you what they've been doing. Now I would stop here for a bit. There are other questions, of course. But before then, maybe we can stop a bit and we can either see if there are questions in the chat, or maybe Konstantinos, we can go with a couple more questions to the audience from our side. Then we would be the one making questions.
We are already answering some questions in the chat, whether people can join the MOOC after it has started, for example. Indeed, everybody can start the course until the 15th of June even, which is the last day. And if they want to finish it in one day, it takes around 5 hours to complete this. And there are other questions about the MOOC that the NIA is providing with some links to the Padlet, for example, or we provided the link to the Facebook group that everybody can join, all teachers can join. So I think we can go to the other questions.
Do you want to ask them the questions then so that we know a bit better our audience as well?
Sure. So I'm going to share again my screen. So I will ask you again to go to a MOOC Lab and this time add the code RQFXMY. I also type it in the chat and we can answer some questions there. So please use the same way you went to MOOC Lab. Just type a different code, and we can go to our first question. Which is the EU Code Week Icebreaker MOOC your first Code Week experience? We would like to see how many of you are new to this, or how many have taken the course perhaps in the past or have organized an activity in the past. So we really appreciate if you answer this. So we see that quite a lot of people, 78% for now. It keeps changing, of course, are first timers, and this is very exciting for us because we believe that this is an opportunity for somebody that is new to coding to get a very quick idea of how this can be useful for their classroom, for their teaching, and as Tommaso mentioned, afterwards follow the other courses that will follow and take a deeper dive into coding and computational thinking. We see that now it's around 58% the new people, so it's still more than half, which is quite encouraging. But you can keep answering. We have quite a few people that haven't answered yet. Please go to wooclub.com and add, I'm sorry, yes, and add the code RQFXMY. New answers are coming in, and we see still that around 60% of the participants in today's webinar are first timers, and we really hope that you will keep participating in EU Code Week, and this is just the first step to get engaged, and that you would be interested to see what other opportunities exist for professional development and for face-to-face and also online training, especially in these kind of times. We believe that the Icebreaker MOOC and also the courses that will follow will be a great opportunity for many of you to see how you can bring coding into your classroom and how you can really integrate it into any course that you teach. Apologies for the link that I sent in the beginning. Indeed, you would have to sign in, but you do not have to sign in to answer these questions. Just go to wooclub.com and slash the code that I provided, RQFXMY, and you won't have to sign in to use the survey. So we can wait a couple of seconds more, and then we can go to the second question that we have prepared for you. We still see that 56% of the people that answered participate in Code Week for the first time.
It's really great to see so many people that are with us for the first time. It's exactly what we are trying to do, to find the new people that we hope are not scared And if it's the first time, you can maybe also write in the chat as well what it was and what made you be afraid maybe of coding or code read before, and what you overcome.
Okay, we see that more answers are coming in, and still the percentage is about the same. So I think you can continue answering the question after if I switch. So shall we move to the next question?
Yes, let's go to the next one.
The next question is, what is your current professional position? So we would like to see what kind of audience we have. Are you a primary school teacher, a pre-primary school teacher, a secondary school teacher, a member of a higher education institution? So you might be an academic or a teaching staff at a university or any other higher education institution, part of an organization. Many of the events that are organized in Code Week are organized by different organizations that are active in coding, so extracurricular activities, or if you are part of something different. And if you are part of a different organization that is not mentioned there, please feel free to type in the chat where you come from, what is your professional position, so we see what is the audience. So we see that we have a lot of primary school teachers, a lot of secondary school teachers as well, a couple of pre-primary teachers, which is very interesting also to see that. Member of higher education institutions, we have as well, part of organization. So, and we also have people that answered others. So we would like to see from you, what other type of organization are you coming from? So we see that Anna, for example, says that she's a parent, and this is very, very nice to see that there are also parents that find this interesting. We believe, especially now that many students had to stay at home, parents can play also a very important role in helping their teachers, their kids develop skills like computational thinking, and also develop their skills like coding or programming, but also their own. Perhaps you would also be very interested into that and want to further develop, perhaps following some more advanced courses in the future. We have a few more people that wrote others, so we would love to hear from you what other type of organizations you're coming from. So we see that some people are part of organizations, NGOs. Many are school teachers, of course, and you have been one of the most important means to help students improve their computational thinking skills and their programming and coding skills. And we really appreciate your time and effort. as well as all the other people that are engaged in Code Week, and this is what it makes it a very, very interesting initiative and a really inclusive initiative. Tommaso, do you want to continue? Do you want to leave it a bit more?
Yes, no, I think we can get back to the questions. So we make sure that we answer all the questions, and then in the meanwhile, again, I think for the 10th time, feel free to keep sharing on the chat any doubts or suggestions you may have, like the one from Francisco, which we'll definitely address later. Very good. So now, just to, as I was mentioning, questions that you asked already in the Padlet. How do I download the badge and certificate after completing the course? This is also technical but important. So, of course, you see that to complete the course, you have to complete and pass the general quiz at the end of the module. This is one module course, so that would be enough for getting your certificate. Certificate and badges are normally awarded at the end of the course, but if you completed the quiz, you can already request a certificate from the progress page before that time. And in fact, many of you have done it already, and you're posting it on Facebook. And that also helps because it shows that to other teachers that this opportunity is also recognized, so they should join as well. So feel free to share the badge and the certificate. Another question that we received is about another type of certificate, which is the certificate of excellence. So now we're talking about certificates that are generated when you organize an activity within Code Week. So every time that you carry out an activity that you've registered on the map of the Code Week website, you will receive, after having reported back about it very quickly, very simply, a certificate of organizers. So as an organizer, you are recognized of have contributed to the success of the initiative of EU Code Week. Now, if you participate to the Code Week for All challenge and you achieve the requirements, you will also receive, after the end of the year, the certificate of excellence. These certificates, the certificate prove that you've reached the step further in a way. And I've listed here, you'll find it on the website, of course, as well, but I listed here what are the requirements, the criteria to obtaining this certificate. And this is to link 10 organizations, 10 activities together. These 10 activities should be organized by 10 different organizers. So you cannot enter 10 activities and then you wouldn't get automatically the certificate of excellence, but if you team up with 10 different organizers, you would get the certificate of excellence. Or you can involve 3 countries, meaning that you can enter into an alliance that only have 3 organizers and therefore 3 activities, but each of these activities should be registered in a different country. If you do so, you will get also the certificate of excellence. And for that, you would need to be a bit patient because we would know that you have reached the objective only when we close the counting in a way of the activities. Therefore, only at the end of the year, we are able to do so. Where can I get the inspiration to register an activity in Code Week? That's a good question as well. And luckily, there are more and more resources and examples to do so. So you have the learning bits, which you find on the Code Week website under the school section. There you will find tutorial and educational videos from experts and teachers across Europe that created this material for you to replicate, to adapt. And these learning bits have also associated lesson plans. So you find already scenarios that you can use with your students, with your classes. So ideally, you don't have to do too much work there. Plus, all these lesson plans are translated in 29 languages. So I'm pretty sure that your language version would be available there. And we hope that it's something that really facilitates the participation, especially of teachers, but also of parents and other organizations that want to organize activities. There's also a resources section in the website, which leads you to, again, websites, tutorials, lesson plans for teaching or for learning how to code. So please do take a look there. It's very rich, and again, we are adding more and more of them. Again, the Facebook group might be a great way of getting inspiration. And the CodeWeek blog as well is definitely part of that. So it's you will find many examples of activities. Many of you might be also familiar with the code.org movement and the Hour of Code. Also, this is a website that we recommend if you are teaching coding or you're trying to integrate coding in your class and you don't know where to start from. On the code.org website, you have really simple tutorial and means to really get your first steps into coding. Now let's move to the next question. I'm currently working from home and my students don't have access to a lot of technology. What activities can you suggest? This applies now in this specific situation. It applies anytime. Also in some schools or in some families, there's not necessarily access to a lot of technology or digital technologies. That's not a problem per se. So we know what we are trying to promote is the teaching of the fundamentals of computer science or computational thinking. And this luckily can be done also through unplugged activities, through the organization of activities that do not require any digital device. There are many examples on the website, and in fact, when you see on the resources page, you can actually sort and see those activities that are unplugged. And that would mean that you don't need any devices and digital devices to carry out those activities or those lessons. And on top of that, you have now, since very really since a few days, you have a new series of activities created by Alessandro Bogliolo, who is the coordinator of the EU Code Week ambassadors, which are resources about really coding at home. So it's really unplugged activities to be done by teachers or by students remotely, maybe with the help or even under the guidance of the parents. So I think it's something that is very relevant to all. And in the chat, you have the link to the resources. And I was mentioning there's some more details on the slide as well. So these are really kind of tutorials that allows you to understand very clearly how you can carry out these activities. So really highly recommended. Now, we have a couple of notable contributions and mentions that we would like to do. Before then, maybe we just take a few questions and we make sure that we answer all the questions. There was an interesting contribution from Francisco on the chat, which I hope somehow it was connected to what I just said. So of course, now we are in a situation where many schools have been forced to close down for a period of time. So of course, Francisco is asking whether we thought to allow only activities that would happen remotely during Code Week 2020. We are definitely looking into it more. So we would like also to borrow your brains. So if you have brilliant ideas on how to make that work, please let us know. If you have ideas of online and remote activities that could be organized, it would be very appreciated to have these suggestions. We have some suggestions, but of course, there's we always welcome new ideas. And ideally and normally we would have both. So in the schools that will reopen, the activities can happen and can take place face-to-face. There's lessons and these actions. In other countries, then they would need to happen online. And I'm sure they would be very valuable nevertheless. Other questions, Konstantinos, from on the chat from the audience, something else that we should address?
So we have a few questions that we already addressed in the chat, but maybe it's good to mention. So somebody is asking that they are new to coding, total beginners. So are there any materials for such people? And as we replied in the chat, there is the learning bits. So if you go to codeweek.eu/training, you will find a lot of instructional videos and short activities to get you started with coding, from unplugged activities to more advanced activities around coding and computational thinking using hardware or just software. So for any of you that is interested to learn more about coding or just start with coding, we think that it's really valuable to go through that and search and see which of the learning bits best fits their needs. And also, as Tomasos mentioned, all the learning bits are translated into 29 languages. So this is also very powerful and helpful, we hope, for you. Other questions?
Konstantinos, I'm not sure if you can share your camera as well with the audience. I'm not sure they can see you.
No, they don't see me.
Okay, Konstantinos is hiding. That's spotted him. Other questions that?
Francisco is replying to you, saying that they are thinking in different possibilities to adapt EU Code Week activities for the future situation. And I think, exactly as Tommaso mentioned, we are open to any suggestions. So if you have any ideas, please share them with us, either through the Padlets that are provided for the MOOC or writing us an email, school@codeweek.eu, and we will be pleased to come back to you and discuss further.
Very good. And also, as you mentioned, again, all the activities and the materials that are produced, they always take into account that we are working with many people that are moving their first steps into coding. So of course we understand that we all have to learn and start from basics. And we also see that afterwards, after the ice is broken somehow, it's easy to find more advanced resources, and maybe you would find the programming language that is really adequate and meaningful to your students or to yourself. And then from that point onward is easier to find support and activities and resources.
Also, for the parents in the webinar, I think that the coding at home, as Tommaso mentioned, and we shared it in the chat, is a very good opportunity for you to also to see how you can do very simple activities and increase the computational thinking of well, both yourselves and your children, and keep them active and let them learn even in these times of school closures.
Very good. And I just take the chance to read Slavika comment that says that she was already coding in her class and she didn't know, and until she saw some of our examples and she understood that in fact there was some fundamentals of computational thinking possibly behind, or other activities that connect to coding. So that's very good. And now, before closing, we still have a few minutes. I just wanted to point you to some contributions that we saw on the MOOC that we liked. And of course, these are not necessarily the best, but these were interesting and tells us also a bit about the spirit of the initiative. Crystal posted what she's been doing in terms of unplugged coding, with printing Cody cards. So developing, kind of creating this game that allows you to teach to students basic computational thinking and kind of explain what are the basic of programming an object. So what are the different roles of a programmer and an object, actioning those commands, and how she adapted also the board game to her pupils using toys that were available to her in the class or at home with their students, and making it even more meaningful for pre-primary students. So that's a very interesting contribution. Thank you, Christelle, for sharing with us. And we just have a few more that I wanted to show you. We have one from Miss Black. She says that they created a game, and so that's based in ancient Rome, at least the characters would be Roman centurions that would need to be safely guided across Italy through same principle of programming, also in an unplugged way. And it was interesting also as she connected this activity with the e-twinning project. So of course it would include also this international component, which is very important. Joanna from Poland, she shared with us some coded drawings where you can actually design a certain picture through coding, through pixel art. And then she showed also how she attached to it some augmented reality and some unplugged activity, which I can recognize with the cups, where one of the students play the programmer and the other one the robots, and you have to stack up some cups all together. And we have also an activity from Nevzat, who decided to do with their students an original study teaching geometric and geometric objects with using coding. So you see how coding has been connected to the specific subject that the teacher was teaching and showing. So thank you very much for your great contributions. Before closing, maybe, and given just the final words.
Can we have, before you close, just a small, a few more questions? We have a couple of questions.
Yes, absolutely.
So Bojana is asking, if we have activities but not with other organizations, what certificate is obtained? Would you like to explain?
Yeah, that's you would receive the certificate of organizer, so which is an important certificate that kind of proof, of course, that you organize your activity, and that you and that certificate is also bear the certification of the European Commission as well, who is behind also this initiative that is backing up this initiative very strongly. And you can also create through the website, through your personal account, you can create certificates for your students or from whomever participated to your event or activity, and with their names, and you can either send that to them by in digital version or print them out for them.
Organizations, for example, we have Rodica that is sharing some resources from her organization in Romania, and then we have materials in Dutch from Natasha that is sharing also free to use activities. So this is also some ideas that teachers can use. Yeah, we see that people are sharing a few links for ideas. So these are also some extra resources that anyone can use, I guess. So Tommaso, you can do the closing.
Very good. No, thanks a lot, and definitely keep sharing your activities. It's something that is very enriching for us because it keeps us happy and motivated, and it's very encouraging for your colleagues and your peers from other countries, from other subjects, from other education levels. So please do keep doing that. And I just wanted to say that Nair really wanted also to be here. She couldn't, but she joined nevertheless to follow the webinar. And I don't know, Nair, if you're there, if you want to say a word.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I'm here. I'm following up with everything. Yeah, nothing, just to say a big thank you to everybody, because I'm seeing that we have more and more participants. So feel free to keep spreading the word and sharing with your colleagues. I saw there are also some parents in the chat in the course as well. So we really hope it's useful. And yes, also because I got also a question from the quiz. So if you have already completed the course, remember to fill in the quiz. You have 3 attempts only, remember, so try not to miss it. And that's it. Thank you so much, Tommaso and Konstantinos as well, for your help and support. And I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you very much for your words, Nair. I'm sure participants were very happy to hear you as well. Then I leave you with a very last slide where you see again some very basic information about how to keep updated with our news. So stay put, stay in touch, and of course stay healthy in this disrupted times, and hopefully we'll be soon out of it all together, and we'll be able to celebrate coding all together face to face as well sooner than later. So thank you very much also for Konstantinos for organizing the webinar, and we'll see you in the course very soon. So keep up the very nice work you're doing until now, and of course enjoy your evening. Thank you very much.